welcome to reading the LinkedIn privacy policy so that you don't have to. This segment is being presented to you by Termageddon.com. We're a privacy policy generator that has generated and successfully kept up to date with changing legislation, tens of thousands of website privacy policies, and we read quite a few of them in the meantime as well. Please note that anything that we discuss today should not be considered legal advice. If you are looking for legal advice, I would recommend speaking to an attorney in your area. Now, why is it important to read the LinkedIn privacy policy? So it's really important to read the privacy policy of any service that you sign up for because it will explain some important privacy information, like what information is being collected, what is being done with that information, who it's being shared with, whether or not it's being sold. And it will also explain your privacy rights and how to exercise those privacy rights so that you can keep control of your personal information. Now, what personal information does LinkedIn actually collect? So when you register for a LinkedIn account, they will collect your name, email address, and sometimes phone number as well as your password. Now, if you do decide to pay LinkedIn for any services like the premium service, they will also collect your billing information as well. When you create your profile, you can choose what information to provide on the profile, but they will collect education, work experience, skills, photo if you do decide to upload that, your city or area, and then your endorsements as well. From posts, they will also collect demographic data, your salary if you choose to include that, your survey information if you take a survey, your resume if you upload that, as well as any job applications as well. And then if you choose to share your address book with LinkedIn, they will collect the names and contact information from everyone on your contact list too. Now, when others make posts or when you make posts, they will also collect articles that you've interacted with or posted, any comments that you've made, any videos, news, and accomplishments, and any other public information that you post or that others post about you on LinkedIn. Now, if somebody else imports their contact list, LinkedIn will collect your information from those contact lists if you are on that list as well. LinkedIn will also collect usage data on how you use LinkedIn. So for example, when you click on ads or like an ad, how you interact with different apps or content. When you perform a search, they will collect your search history as well as any apps that you install. And then it can collect cookies, device identifiers, and IP addresses, as well as the type of device you have, what web browser you're using. If you do opt in, they will also collect your GPS data, meaning your location too. Now, when you use LinkedIn and you write messages, LinkedIn can also use an automatic scanning technology that scans the message and helps you respond. So for example, like tag a person or include a URL link within the message, you can shut that off too. Now, it also collects information provided by schools and workplaces as well. So for example, if your workplace has a LinkedIn page, they may post a picture of you at your workplace. That is being collected by LinkedIn as well. Now, how does LinkedIn actually use your information? So they use it to provide you with LinkedIn service, as well as help you connect with people. So you can connect with professionals, partners, colleagues, friends, and LinkedIn can also help suggest connections to you as well. It can also use that information to show you news, events, or ideas on the topics that you care about within your LinkedIn feed. It can help you explore careers, educational opportunities, and find jobs. So for example, you can apply for a job using LinkedIn. It can help you collaborate with colleagues, look for potential clients, customers, partners, other people to do business with. They can use your information to sell you premium services, as well as contact you about LinkedIn services, send you updates, reminders, job suggestions, and promotional marketing items. It can also use your information for targeted ads. So LinkedIn can use pixels, ad tags, cookies, and device identifiers to send you advertisements as well. It can also use that information for marketing, developing their services and research, conducting surveys, providing customer support, and implementing security and investigations as well. Now, does LinkedIn share your personal information with any third parties? Yes, it does. So your profiles are visible to members and LinkedIn customers. They can also be semi-visible to people outside of LinkedIn as well. And posts, likes, follows, and comments can be publicly visible too. So anything that you post on LinkedIn, you should be aware, unless you do change your settings, that all of that information could be publicly available to anyone. If you have an enterprise account, you should be aware of the fact that your employer could view some of the activity on enterprise accounts. LinkedIn does say that employers cannot view job searches on enterprise accounts, but if you are using an enterprise account, I would definitely check your settings to see what your employer can and cannot view. If you link any other services to your LinkedIn account, that information is shared with those other services too. LinkedIn also shares information with affiliates to provide and develop LinkedIn services. They don't really say who those affiliates are, but it is being shared with those. And then it's also being shared with service providers, so like maintenance, analysis, audit, payments, fraud detection, and marketing. But it's unclear as to who those service providers are too. And then lastly, information may be shared with the authorities for legal disclosures. So for example, a subpoena. And then also if LinkedIn as a company itself is sold, it merges with another company, or the control of the company changes, your information may be shared with a new company that owns LinkedIn, for example. Now, does LinkedIn sell your personal information? This is the part that's kind of getting sketchy here. So LinkedIn's privacy policy does not actually say whether they sell the data that they are collecting, which is really strange because many privacy laws like Nevada Revised Statutes Chapter 603A or the California Privacy Rights Act do require companies to state whether or not they sell the data that they're collecting. Now, Nevada's privacy law applies to anyone who does business in Nevada, which I'm going to guess that LinkedIn does. The CPRA, they do have higher thresholds for who that law applies to, but thinking about how large LinkedIn is, I would say it's pretty likely that they do have to comply with that law, but they're not actually saying whether or not they sell the data that you collect. And then also their privacy policy does not say that you have the right to opt out of sales of your personal information, which is another right provided by those laws. They do list a lot of other privacy rights, so it is kind of suspicious that they don't list that right in particular. I was able to find a support article and I highlighted the relevant part, and it says we won't collect or share your data with anyone. That's really strange because previously they listed a bunch of third parties that they shared data with. And then they also say we don't make your information public or sell your personal data, but their privacy policy clearly says that a lot of your information is actually made public if you do decide to share it. So I'm not sure whether or not the support article is accurate. It seems like it isn't, but it was posted by LinkedIn itself. But really suspicious that they don't disclose whether or not they sell your personal data. Now, what privacy rights does LinkedIn actually provide? So you can customize your settings, so you can turn off profile data on ads or remove or change interest categories for ads. It's interesting that the settings area does not actually allow you to opt out of ads in general, just kind of remove the information that advertisers get from you. You can also delete data, change or correct it, object to, limit, or restrict the use of your data. And then you also have the right to access your data as well. And most privacy rights can be exercised through your LinkedIn profile. So if you click on your face on the LinkedIn page, click settings, and then choose data privacy or advertising data. You can choose your settings there. The area is pretty confusing because it doesn't really allow you to do the things that you think you would be able to do to exercise your rights. And then you have to click through multiple things to actually get to the right that you're looking for. I was also not able to find anything that like prevents LinkedIn from sharing your data with marketers or with advertisers. So that's a little underwhelming as well. And then lastly, how long does LinkedIn store your data? So they generally store it until your account is no longer active. If you do close your account, it says that it will delete your data within 30 days of account closure. but they do have some exceptions to that. So legal obligations, resolving disputes, maintaining security, preventing fraud and abuse, enforcing user agreements, or fulfilling unsubscribe requests. So it seems like maybe some of your data is being deleted and other data is being kept, but you can contact LinkedIn to get access to your data. So if you ask them to delete your data or delete your account, you could potentially exercise that right and then see what data they've actually retained on you in the meantime. So yeah, so that's reading the LinkedIn privacy policy so that you don't have to.